And of course, we have seen what is a pramana, pratyaksha, anumana, agama. Then, opposite to pramana comes vipariyaya, mithya jnanam, atadrupa pratishtham iti. And in the last class, vikalpa visa, sabda jnananupati vastu sunya vikalpa. In short, we said, common language is called imagination, but we saw in details. Of course, a lot of confusion you people have. Just to clarify, in fact, one question came, Swamiji, sankalpa vikalpatmaka manaha. So there vikalpa is different, here vikalpa is different. So when this set of question comes, please be very clear. You have to very understand. Remember, whatever we see in Tattvavada, it is very elementary. Of course, not contradiction. Whereas what we are seeing now here, we are in PhD level, okay? So don't bring the PhD level things into the elementary class. It will not work. Like, in the school they will teach us, look, you have to clean your hand so that your hand will be bacteria free. Before food, you need to clean your hand, because or else it is not free from the bacteria. But later on, as you start studying microbiology especially, what will discover? In fact, the more you clean your hand, more the bacteria becomes active. So sometimes it is better not to clean the hand and eat, you understand? This is my addition, okay? So also here. But there is a connection. So there, when it was being said, sankalpa vikalpatmakam manaha, there it was talked the functioning of the mind. So where it comes in the form of that with a certainty, without any certainty. So that's why, that means mind is something where both, whether this comes, that comes, what is to do, what is not to do. So that uncertainty factor was being talked as mind in elementary cases. Here in PhD level, we are discussing mind in details. And of course, this vikalpa also is equal to that vikalpa, absolutely no problem at all. So there is no contradiction at all. But here vikalpa is much more in details than the vikalpa that was talked in Tattvabodha. Next. Now I noticed many things. One of the things that some of you are really struggling to understand. So how many of you are struggling to understand, so that I'll simplify? That is what I am thinking now. Will you please raise your hand? Struggling to understand. Okay, 1, 2. Okay. So only 2 people are struggling to understand. So other understands clearly. Okay. Very nice. 3, 4. Okay. 5. Okay. So here. So that means okay. What is this? Why you are delaying? Okay. So this is the problem. Okay. No problem. So I can work on to simplify instead of going in details. Okay. So now the next vritti is called nidra. Actually, this definition of nidra is eye-opener. In fact, let us say, till few years back, the scientists were criticizing and highlighting that nidra means in sleep there is no vritti, there is no modification. But only few years back, now the definition of nidra that comes from medical science is exactly the copy of what today we are going to see. And I am not telling you jokes, most of the scientists copy it. Like one quantum physicist, he used to come and attend Pujya Swamiji's class regularly. In fact, he was one time nominee for Nobel Prize, but he did not get it. So he used to come and he attend the class. He would say, Swamiji one day asked him, why are you attending class? You are such a great person, this and that. He says, Swamiji, I am coming to listening to you. Everything in details I take note. But I present in my way. Same Shastra, I present in my way and I am called a scientist. And whatever name I have got in the, in scientific research or in the global market, it is because of this knowledge. And you have contributed a lot. He was honest enough, at least could talk. However, let us look at what Sutra says so that it becomes easier. So Sutra highlights very carefully. So what is Nidra? Abhava pratyaya alambana vritti nidra. Each word has to be taken very seriously here. This is what called Sutra literature. So let us look at first is abhava. So when we say abhava, abhava means absence. So now comes absence of what? So here it says abhava means absence of pratyaya. Abhava pratyaya. This is how you have to understand the Sanskrit, okay? Absence of pratyaya. So now what is this? What is this abhava you again say? So this absence of pratyaya. So what is this? And now he says, look, first when he says abhava tasya, what is that? Jagrat swapna kalikasya jnanasya yah abhava. So during waking state and deep sleep state, the knowledge comes. That is absence. So you can use the word if you want to put in English, that the absence of the knowledge of both waking and dream. Now, says beautifully, so this, what is this again? This is abhava. Then how again pratyaya? So what do you mean by pratyaya? That also I need to understand very carefully. So pratyaya means called karanam. Now there is a karanam behind it. Why it is absence? There is a cause. Pratyate anena iti pratyaya. I am going in Sanskrit, okay? Pratyate anena iti pratyaya karanam ityartha. The cause. Now what is that? He says, look, that is what the alambanam, that is what we say the subject matter. And what is that? That is called tamo gunaha. So that's why the alambanam, the vishayaha, the subject matter, the substratum, the foundation, the adharam, is what is called tamo gunaha. Tamas ityartha. And yasya sa tathokta vrutihi nidra. That is called nidra. That is called sleep. So if you want to put in English translation, I was working on translation, okay? There are many translations, you will be confused, but I am putting it very carefully. Sleep is a set of mental modification, because vrutihi. Why? And I will be talking about this point later on. Sleep is a set of mental modification where the absence of knowledge of both waking and dream is possible. Why? Because of the predominance of tamas. And that tamas is the substratum. Is it clear? Don't worry. We'll be explaining further. Once more I am reading it. This is what you have to do now. Look at the Sutra literature. Sleep is a set of mental modification. So that means sleep, in sleep don't say, oh, there is no mental modification. There is no thought, is wrong. There are thoughts. Why and how we'll be seeing in details. where the absence of the knowledge of both waking and dream is possible. That's why it's called another state, different from these two. And why? Because of a predominance of tamas. So tamaguna is a predominant, and that tamaguna becomes the substratum. Now when we try to understand, let us look at our experience so that it becomes easier to understand. Generally, when you look at this sleep, we have three types of sleep. So one type of sleep is what? I slept well. It was good. In fact, my mind is clearer. I feel better. I feel light. Sukham aham abhapsam iti. That's why prasanna me manaha. That's why my mind is happy. I am clear. This is one type of sleep. Second type of sleep, dukkham aham abhapsam. Sleep was not good, not great. So, lot of pain, agitation, disturbed sleep. I had a disturbed sleep. You understand? Now, third one is, oh, I slept like log of wood. Stupidly, this is the sometime experience. Stupidly I slept. In English we say, stupidly I slept. I slept like a log of wood. In fact, body is paining. Very lazy. Oh no. You understand? Now, these are the three categories of sleep. Is it clear? Now, why it happens? Because these are the things you need to understand. That's why we are careful with reference to sleep, you have to understand from the sutra. And why it is being talked, also we need to understand. It's not simply wasting a sutra, okay? And this sutra is very important equally. Now, he gives the clue. There is alambanam. So what is that alambanam? What is the vishaya? What is the substratum? What is the adharam? Called tamas. So that means in sleep, tamas is a predominant. As per the rule, in waking state, sattva should be predominant. Supposed to be, okay? In dream, rajas is predominant. And in sleep, tamas is predominant. Clear? Now leave waking and dream because that is not our subject matter today. Now when tamas is predominant, pradhanaha, now what could be secondary? So there can be three variations, okay? Sattva can be secondary, rajo can be secondary, also tamas can be secondary. So when tamas is predominant and sattva becomes secondary, so that time the sleep is a very enlightening sleep. So there you say, I slept well. In fact, my mind is clearer. It's a bright day ahead. Because of predominance of sattva guna. Because sattva guna stands for prakasam, illumination. So wherever sattva guna is predominant, there it illumines. Secondly, when rajoguna is predominant, tamoguna is predominant, rajoguna becomes secondary. There what you say, dukham aham abapsam iti. I had disturbed sleep, lot of pain, lot of agony. I don't feel good. And finally, when you say gadham mudhoham abapsam iti, I slept like log of wood, but I am completely deluded. Mind doesn't work, so lazy, lethargy. In fact, the body is paining. I don't feel like waking up. No. So what does it mean? Not only the substratum is tamas, also secondarily also tamas. Imagine what sort of sleep you have, okay? Based on that, you have to see who you are. That's why I'm just coming to the lifestyle part, which after one sutra will talk, abhyasa and vairagya. Both the words will come. That's why my job is, even if during sleep time, to make sure that I must have sattva guna as secondary. That is called abhyasam. We'll be seeing very carefully later on. So I cannot afford to allow rajaguna especially. Because once I allow rajaguna, mind starts fighting. So after fighting, it will go back to what? Tamoguna. Is it clear? While going to bed, if you allow your mind to fight with yourself a lot, then mind will get exhausted or not? Then tamoguna will take over or not? So that's why we make it very clear that minimum thing is, before going to bed, pancha snanam. So pancha snanam means both the legs, both the hands and face completely to be washed without any excuse. And if your mind is agitated whole day, doesn't matter, you can change the linen in the night also. Fresh linen, which helps to have, linen means bedsheet, to make sattva predominance. That's why inside the bedroom, one should not have, television set. And especially must not see news, okay? You can see crime serial. I am not telling you jokes. I can suggest people to see the crime serial. Because the crime serial is not dangerous. News is much more dangerous. Never ever see news channel. This is my clear suggestion. However, let me not get into in details. Once you take care of the surroundings of your bedroom, where you have a sattvic atmosphere, not rajasic or tamasic, not your sofa, okay? That is the most important aspect, okay? Then only Next thing is we do chant few mantras. So there are different stotras, especially stotras related to mother. And of course we have also Nidra Devi Suktam, Nidra Suktam. All these things to be done. To make sure that mind goes to sattvic mode. That's why when mind goes to sattvic mode and you sleep up, even if you sleep 3 to 4 hours, when you get up with freshness, and whole day you continue with freshness. Have you not observed that? Whereas if it is tamas, you will be sleeping more than 8 to 10 hours, especially on Sundays, okay? So that's why here it's being said very carefully. When you have these 3 types of sleep, that means there are 3 types of mental modifications. Is it clear? That's why I use the word sleep is a set of mental modification. So that means in sleep, what medical science says, there is a blank wave, is wrong actually. In the beginning they said there is nothing. Now they say there is a blank wave because they translate wrongly, okay? So how can we say blank wave? Let us now understand how the English is poor, or these people don't understand how they make a fool. Somebody said very beautifully, one doctor was being interviewed, very nice information to understand. So when he was being interviewed, he was asked, oh doctor, will you please tell us what is the worst scandal in medical field? Do you know what he said? He is told very nicely, that is called medical checkup. The real scandal that will continue in the medical field is called medical checkup. So you go to hospital as a person, or you go to for checkup as a person, come back as a what? Patient. Have you ever come back? Have you ever seen a patient goes and comes back as a person? I have never seen. Including me, okay? And you know better what happens. Because you cannot really rely upon any doctor and of course pharmaceutical companies. No chance. So that's why they say here, Nidra means there is a blank wave. How can it be possible? Okay, now, but why they say? Let us look at. Suppose in a room, there are many things. When there are many things in the room, now suddenly light goes. That is darkness. Now darkness stands for tamas, okay? Darkness covers up everything. Now tell me, what is visible? No objects are visible, but darkness is visible or not? Don't say that nothing is visible. Is it so? When you enter into the dark room, you say nothing is visible. How can you say nothing is visible? Does the darkness is visible or not? Be clear. The darkness is visible. So because the tamoguna is visible, darkness is visible, how can you say nothing is visible? This is called, if you say nothing is visible, that means you do not know what you are talking. This is called medical science. Clear? So that's why the definition of sleep is so compact that my job is in sleep to make sure, because as the subconscious mind takes over, I cannot do much, but I can make sure that before going to bed, let me make the atmosphere sattvic atmosphere. Let me at least tune my mind towards sattvic aspects. To have sattvic sleep, if you want to use the word, where tamas is predominant, secondarily sattva guna. Is it clear? In fact, in this sutra, one word, this is called, Sanskrit, okay, don't worry. One word is extra used, which is not required, to be very honest. That word is called brutti. So when the sutra says, this is just to have a stimulation in the mind, nothing else, okay? When it says abhava pratyaya alambana, brutti nidra, actually brutti is not required, because brutti is continuing from the beginning itself. When it says so bruttayah panchatayah klishta aklishta, then what are they? Pramana viparya vikalpa nidra smrutayah. So everything is a brutti. So if each one is a brutti, why to bring here extra word? Because in sutra you cannot add extra. It's not allowed. Even if one alphabet you cannot add extra. But this word, two alphabets, which has no value. Yes, it has a value. Why? In fact, in this regard, both Vachaspati Mishra and of course Vyasacharya also highlights this point. Because some of the schools of philosophies, they don't accept Nidra is a brutti. That in Nidra, there is no mental modification, they say. So to make it clear, Patanjali highlights, hey look, extra word, this is a brutti, it is a set of mental modification. Is it clear? That's why we have to be very clear in this regard. Now while talking this thing, now also we need to see that how this Nidra leads to us our waking. This is not in Sutra, okay? Because we say the very carefully, your sleep determines tomorrow. Today's sleeps decides what is going to happen tomorrow. Have you not observed that? I don't know whether you have seen or not. I have seen people. If you don't eat 5 to 10 days, I'll tell you, you will not feel bad. First, there will be habitual error. You'll be hungry. Then whatever fat you have, it will start consuming. In fact, you will enjoy. Suppose 5 days you don't get sleep. What will happen? Have you ever observed this? Just a few days if you don't get sleep. Day and night you don't get sleep at all. Have you ever, any of you have gone through that stage? Thank God, let it not happen to anybody. I am not telling you jokes. Continuously, if you don't get sleep for more than 2 days, you will go crazy. So sleep is that important for us, but we don't understand, neither we give importance. So we hit the bed. Listen, I hit the bed, I see. It's a wrong expression. You must not hit the bed. Never ever hit the bed. In fact, it is a place where you allow literally all your mind or your brutti process to settle down. I would like to say openly, you must allow in sleep mind to get disfragmented. I hope this is a computer language, okay? So how you do defragmentation? So defragmentation, what you know, those computer guys, they know, when you start storing big files, what happens? The disk starts rounding, it does never stores in one place, it stores in different places, there will be pointers. That's why sometimes when you open a file, it takes longer time or not, especially heavy files, okay? Word and the small things doesn't take much time. Suppose the file is some 10 GB, 20 GB, it takes a real long time to open because it is being stored in different places. What is the defragmentation? Defragmentation means what? Bringing all these pointers, all these files that is stored in different places of the disk into one place. Probability, okay? Sometimes it also gets divided, don't worry. So there is a process, and there you allow it, computer to continue, and you don't do much work. Actually, sleep is the best time allowing your mind to go for defragmentation, provided if you make sattva as secondary, not rajas, of course not tamas. Is it clear? That's why comes vairagya, and we'll see this sutra later on. And the last one. So last one says anubhuta vishaya asampramosha smriti iti. So the last one is called smriti. So smriti, all of us we know, it is nothing but it is a memory. So when we say memory, we do look at differently. So now what he says? So smriti is something, the memory is something. Here we understand anubhuta pramanadi jnatah yah visayah asampramosah. So here is just this word. Memory is something. It is when perceived. Objects do not slip away. Through the impressions come back to my knowledge. Because anubhuta pramanadi jnatah. Because whatever I see, ghata dehe iti, ghata pata, whatever I see, pot, house, all these things, now this is available. They do not go away. That's why the memory is what? True to the object. So that's why we say there are two types of smriti. So two types of memories. So one type of memory is true to the object. Other one is not true to the object. In fact, I am going to stop here. The reason is why I don't want to load today. Because this particular thing and vairagya I'll bring together, okay? Why the smriti is connected to that. But as I have some other thing to do, because I am thinking now slowly to introduce new things every class, something other or every alternative class, okay? So that's why I am taking diversion, okay? As you know, this we have called Ashta Siddhi. So 8 type of Siddhi. Ashta Siddhi Nau Nidhi Ka Data, called Hanuman. The one who is the giver of Ashta Siddhi. So what are the Ashta Siddhis? Please, it's a really very informative things. Both Sankhya and Yoga, we accept it, okay? This Ashta Siddhis. So the first one is called Uha. You can write it. Uha. Because for me is very repressing to recollect, okay? That's why I enjoy. That's why I wanted to say it. Second one is called Shabda. Third one is called Adhyayana. Fourth one, Sruhut prapti. Sruhut prapti. Fifth one, dana. And other three are the result of this five, called adhyatmika dukkhahani. Adhyatmika dukkhahani. I'll explain in details, don't worry. Then adhibhautika dukkhahani, that you know. Then third one is adhidaivika dukkhahani. Now let us look at one so that you can understand it. So first thing is called uha siddhi. So uha siddhi means this siddhi comes because of previous janma. We call as yoga janma purusha. So that means by birth you know what is good, what is not good, what is right, what is not right, what is sat, what is asat. So the viveka buddhi comes by birth, being a yoga janma purusha. And because of that reason you have jnanam. So that is called uha siddhi. So it's purely yoga bhrashta purusha. In a previous life you must have done a lot. Somewhere last moment something went wrong. That's why you catch straight away. Number one. Number two is called shabda siddhi. The accomplishment. This knowledge accomplishment comes because of shabda. Shabda means what? The teacher teaches Sravana Mananam Nitidhyasanam that we are doing now. Okay? So through the teaching, now you gain the knowledge. Atma Jnanam comes through the teaching. This is second type of siddhi. Third one is called adhyayana siddhi. So adhyayana siddhi means you start studying scriptures. And again it will be related to yoga bhrashta. Then you get some fire, like paperback you read and you get a fire. Then you get confirmation by yourself. Because previous life you must have done a lot. That is called adhyayana siddhi. And fourth one is called sruhut prapti. We have seen this word sruhut in Bhagavad Gita, a well-wisher. So sruhut prapti means, so there are wise people. They keep traveling. They keep teaching. And because you come across a right person, and that person teaches you as a well-wisher, knowing that even if you are stupid, start teaching you again and again. You understand? Like that sadhu, when he was doing tarpanam in the Ganga, so a scorpion comes. So remember that story, okay? So even if sometimes you get the person stinks, say, what nonsense you are talking? You people are parasites doing nothing, just Brahman, Atman, Atman, Brahman, morning, evening. What is going on, Swamiji? Please. Is it going to give me bread? I am interested in bread, not in this Atman Brahman, okay? Is it going to give me a better job? Better, they will not say better job. Better life. I ask them, what do you mean by the life? Can you tell me? However, so that is called sruhut prapti siddhi. And the fifth one is called dana siddhi. So dana siddhi means you come across a person who is a wise person, continues in his pursuit without any botheration. He continues or she continues. And you become a supporting person for that. Whatever is required, food, shelter, or infrastructure, whatever is required, you keep supporting. So when you keep supporting, in return, you also get a siddhi. And slowly, because of this dhanam attitude, and that also gives you a siddhi. So that is called dana siddhi. That's why in India especially, all the sadhus are being taken care because of this reason. Not because of anything, okay? Because there is a siddhi by default. So they take care of sadhus only because of this thing. I think I was trying to bring that day, so I did not get the all others. That's why I thought of bringing it. Now, other last three are the outcome of all these five put together. Or anyone. What are they? We have three types of dukkham. The pain that we have, either it is related to me, my body, mind, or related to living beings, or related to the nature. Adhyatmika, Adhibhautika, and Adhidaivika. Now the destruction of these three dukkham, Adhyatmika dukkhahani, Adhibhautika dukkhahani, and Adhidaivika dukkhahani takes place. So when the destruction of dukkham, called pain, that happens in three levels with reference to one's own individual body and mind. That dukkham comes. Second thing is dukkham or the pain comes because of your neighbor, because of others, because of other living beings, including your children. You can take them also, no problem. And finally, dukkham comes because of calamities. Not man-made calamity, okay? War is man-made calamity, okay? Like cyclone, thunder, earthquake, volcano eruption. So all these things are destroyed. So these eight are called siddhis. In fact, yoga brings Ashtasiddhi. More of it we will see in the next class. Please. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.